Hey everybody, I'm back again. I'm playing Battlefront. Figured I'd have some sort of overlaying content to this because it's pretty monotonous watching me just play the same co-op missions over and over to get to max level. Anyways, today we're going to talk about what I think the symbolism, maybe George Lucas intended it or he didn't intend it, between the actual clone troopers and people who are in society, just regular everyday people. Um, I think there's actually quite a lot of similarities between the both of us. Clones, they kind of were made to all get along, and in society it seems like there's a real push. If you're ever aggressive towards another person, it's highly frowned upon. Nobody wants it. Same with the clones. You couldn't be aggressive to your own kind whatsoever, even if there's a disagreement. Um, no individual thinking. So today, it's very frowned upon in the workplace to have any of your own thoughts. If you have any of your own ideas, they always say at the very beginning of your job, they're like, oh, we want to hear all your special individual ideas and how we can improve the company. They don't really mean that. Of course they don't mean that. It's just a show, so they can make their company look better than it actually is. They have a schedule to follow. Follow orders. Basically, you show up for work, you do everything, then you go home. Clone troopers are the same. They show up for work, then they go back to the barracks. That's all they do. Sleep, eat, fight. Basically, it's sleep, eat, work. And often we have meaningless lives, and what I mean by that is, sure, you have a family, but what good is that? Like, you go to work, you come home, then you die. These guys, they go to fight on the battlefield, and then they go to barracks, and basically then they die. And then either they can die on the job, like we can die on the job a lot of the time, or, that's what the clones do too. They die on the job as well. Basically, it's a system that tells us how to do everything. We both have that in common. Another thing we kind of have and similar between people and clones, we're never in top command, always beneath someone else. You can see that with the clones, with the Jedi. They'll never be top dog, like very, very top dog. And you'll see that in the world with CEOs, like people like of the 0.0000001%. Clones are designed to be perfect. So this is another similarity between clones and humans. People are designed to be perfect. Like, you're basically groomed all your life to work. That's all you're ever supposed to do. Like, work, work, work. This is everyone's main importance. If you're not working, what the fuck are you doing? It seems they want to know. It seems like our world wants us to be perfect. The way we dress, eat, be in shape, smell, etc. Basically, people pay billions of dollars just to be a perfect specimen. It seems like it's the only thing that matters. The same thing is in the clone world. You'd have regular clone troopers and the clones who'd want to be like a commando or something like that. You'd have to be perfect. You always have to be perfect for some reason. There's this obsession with perfection. And if you're not perfect, you're a failure, basically. And I'm sure those would probably be just the standard clone troopers. And then, similar to so many clones, we have to rely on outfits to express ourselves from how oppressed we are by society, etc. or work. I always find it interesting how people pay thousands of dollars for an outfit because literally they don't have a voice to make it seem like they're an individual from their outside work life. So they have to rely on their clothes to show they have a voice. same with the clones' armor, because they were so oppressed, they had to almost express themselves through their clothes, which was their armor. So they had to colorize their armor, put on pauldrons, camas, put on all sorts of gadget rangefinders, stuff like that. Another similarity between clones and everyday people nowadays, clones are built for one purpose, and that was to fight. They were bred to fight. People basically are the same thing. They bred for one purpose, to work. That's all we're meant to do. That's all we're supposed to do. Another similarity between clones and everyday people, we are equally expendable. Our jobs being fired, replaced. Clones are easily replaced as well. Even dying on the job nowadays, we'd be replaced within a week. Same in the clones. If they die on the job, another clone would come and replace them. Something extremely identical to what was just there. Same with a workplace. Someone who would pass away on the job would be replaced by another person, similar qualifications, similar background, and there you go. And I think Camino is very identical to our workplaces. It's clean, sterile. If you mess up, you get fired or killed. Basically what that means, in Camino, if a clone was defective, most of the time they just turn them back into goo and then feed them to the other clones. In work, basically they kill you by taking away your job because that's your only means of living. And in both workplaces they want you to act and be a certain way, so that's my point on that. Next point between humans and clones, it kind of really showed me how little control people had over their lives when COVID came. It seemed like so many people lost their jobs and livelihood, and everything could be taken away by an outside source that we have no control over. Clones were kind of similar. They were never in control either. Usually second fiddle to the Jedi or another top commanding officer. But the commanding officers again were the 0.000001 of their clone population. Another relationship between the clones and everyday people. Relationships are mostly forbidden for clones. Similar to our times now, actually. It's impossible to stay in a relationship with the stress of work, life, school, and money. It just is. Mostly the biggest one is stress and money. Unless you're working all the time, you're never going to have enough money, and that's a big one. And here's another one for clones and people nowadays being so like, we're usually rewarded for being heartless, cold, and psychopathic. Clones are pretty much the same. Like us on the workplace, we have to be heartless and cold and psychopathic. Like if someone's not doing something right, you're actually rewarded for ripping into them. Yeah, clones are the same. They had to be heartless on the battlefield and stuff like that, and be kind of psychopathic, killing other. Well, they kill droids, but I don't know if you can really technically call that messed up. But yeah, another like one small mistake could mean your life, and that would be regarding clones. To humans, it'd be the job. So you make one small mistake on the job and you're fired. Similar to clones. Another one, we have little time for fun. So what I mean by that is the clones, they didn't have much of a life. Neither do us. Clones spent most of their free time in the barracks. They were cramped and small. And people, because of the living conditions in today's world, with everything, inflation and the price of housing and the housing crisis in Ontario and stuff like that, they're always in a house that they're always paying for, but they're never in, and it's usually cramped because they can't afford much. Another comparison between clones and everyday people, the unrealistic expectations put on us and impossible challenges. This would be comparing work to fighting. So at work you're always set up to fail no matter what. It always takes one small error to mess up everything. No matter what you do, it's just a probability cause. Eventually you will make an error, even if it's someone else sabotaging you. And on the clone side, they were set up to fail a lot of the times because just the way that the numbers were set up, the clones proportionally were nowhere near the size of the droid army. They're always outnumbered, I think 1,000 to 1 or something like that. But yeah, they were always set up to fail. I think the big thing behind all of this was both of us are just prisoners in our own lives. I think that's the main setup message to kind of relate the two. But yeah, this is my battle on Felucia, and this is kind of discussing like why clones are so similar to everyday people.